Hello, this is Jesse with Velo Games. This is my fourth live stream. In this live stream, I'm going to be setting up some attack animations with something called a combo graph plugin. Getting some line traces set up for those. Seeing if I can get some animation montages looking halfway decent in the first person view and maybe some other things depending on how far we get. So first thing, I want to review a couple of the plugins that I'm using. One is called the Combo Graph. It's made by the same person that made the gameplay ability system in MK Labs. I can't recommend this guy enough. And he has some really good content on here. Essentially, it's a node-based editor that makes it really easy to set up combos and attack animations and those sorts of things. You can use either animation montages or animation sequences and put them in series here. And I'll get more into that. Now, the animation sequences aren't network replicated, so you need to use montages, which is fine. It's typically what you want to use anyway. So that's what I'll be using. Now you can use hit traces with the combo graph, but I'm going to be using something called AGR Pro. It's another great free plugin. It actually has a lot of different features for equipment handling, inventory, item pickups, and different things. But I'm just going to be using a very small portion of this for line tracing. Now, Combo Graph does come with some line tracing abilities, but even MK Labs recommended potentially using this, and I've had some luck with it so far. So I just wanted to show those two things off. So as far as some changes I've made since the last live stream, I have played around with it a little bit. I have some line traces going on here. I'll play around with that just a little bit more. I've attached a camera to the head socket of my third person mesh. So you'll notice when I do an attack animation now that my head moves down with my third person mesh's head. I did that so when I swing down and do some crazy animations, it's harder to notice my headless torso below. Now I think it adds an element of realism, so I kind of like that. Forget what else I've done. I have played around with the combo graph as well. But right now I only have this one attack animation. Left mouse button click and right mouse button click, same animation. So I'm going to see if we can make that look a little bit nicer. Get some different animations in there, maybe a quicker light attack for my left mouse button, and in a similar vein, have a heavy attack for my right mouse button click. So what I'll do is open up my combo graph. I'm going to start calling these CG underscore to indicate it's a combo graph. And right now I only have this one animation montage. Let's see what we have to work with here. So I have 3 here. I'm not going to create any montages in this live stream, so I'll see what we have right now. Okay, attack primary A. It's not bad. Oh, that's interesting. I don't need that. see what we have. I think B may be the fastest, just by a hair. Okay, I think I'll use B as my light attack, and I'll do a 2-part combo with A and C. So I will break this node in my combo graph. This is really easy to work with. So I'll drop B in here. Bring this off to the side. And I'll bring C in as well. I'll need to create more of these. But this is just what I had standard, retargeting from the Greystone animations. So on entry, I'll go ahead and go into here. I'm going to set my default input action to primary attack. If you're not familiar with these input actions, that's the direction Unreal Engine is going now with input. It's called enhanced input. So you have an input action that you define and a mapping context. So left mouse button, my input action is primary attack. Right mouse button, my input action is secondary attack. I kind of like it. Keeps things a little bit more organized and into blueprints. So I do kind of like that. But anyway, so that's going to be left mouse button click. So if it's save, check out that asset. Okay. I think what I'll do next is drag off of B here. And this transition is going to be secondary attack, or I'll act as though it's a heavy attack. I'll draw another transition here, and that'll be a secondary attack as well. I think that's how that'll work. So a right click, you will do primary A, and a secondary right click, you'll do primary C. So we'll see if that's how that works. Now, I believe I can speed this up just a hair. So montage play rate, I want this to go a little bit faster since it's my primary attack. I don't think it's updating the play rate, at least in the preview. Yeah, it's definitely not. Okay, I'm curious. I'll leave it at 10. It's kind of crazy, but I just want to see if it's taking. Oh my. See how fast that was. I don't even think it had time to do a line trace. That is interesting. Okay, let's right click. Not quite what I expected. Okay, well. Let's save and see what's going on. I'll set this back to 1.25. See if we get a little bit more. That's better. I'll need to polish this up a little bit, because for primary attack, you probably want it to animation to end a little bit sooner, get your sword up a little bit quicker. You may even want to slash a little faster. I may bump this up to like 1.4 or something. Oh, that's weird. Why am I... Okay, so there's my primary attack. Left click, right mouse button click, right mouse button click, right mouse button click, and then right mouse button click behind it. So it went into that second combo, A and then C. So there's A, there's C. If I wait long enough, I will do A and then A again. So that's kind of what the combo graph does. It lets you do combos easily. That's how easy it is to set up. Now I'm wondering why only one of my montages is doing line traces. And I think I know why. It's the same weapon throughout. So in weapons, you have to set up these sockets called start and end. And you can, you can change the names, but I don't see why you would. But essentially, it'll create a line trace between the start and end socket on your mesh. So that's kind of how you set up the mesh. So that's not the problem. Here's the problem. So I think it's A that's working. And you see here I have this AGR attack notify. So this is the time frame during the montage where we will be doing line traces. So you want it at the start of the swing about, and I might have that a little bit early, but so what I'll do actually, I'll move this up just to be a little bit more accurate. So it's a rather small frame here. Actually, I probably need to shorten it up here as well. So I'll clean that up a little bit. And I will also add a track for the other two montages. Let me jump to B. I don't think I'll need a new track. So we start swinging right here. So I'll go to this track 1, right click, add notify state AGR. And keep in mind this is the plugin I downloaded. So this comes default. With that, I didn't have to make that notify. And we're gonna go all the way. It kind of swings behind him a little bit. Now this bears a question: do I want attacks in my game where if you're swinging forward, you can also hit and do damage in the back? This is a design question I'm not going to answer right now, but I'll go ahead and say that's the full swing. Okay, start swinging here. I think that's okay. So I'll hit save, and I'll do my last montage, and we'll see if we're getting line traces for these guys. Okay, looks like I'm starting to swing about there. So go to my track 1, right click and add notify state, AGR attack notify state. I will drag this red indicator. Oh, I'm gonna have to fix these animations too, because look at that shield. So that's a pretty easy edit. I can go back and fix that later. I don't think I'll... Depends on how far we get. I may fix it in this stream. I'll call that good. So I'll drag this notify state out to here and click save. We'll see what that gets us. Anytime I make changes, it's asking me if I want to check these files out. So if I was working with the team, all of these files I've checked out so far would not be editable until I submitted these changes to source on the Perforce server. So you won't see that unless you're working off of source control. Okay, so primary attack. Looks like I do get a line trace. It's like an S, or it's a little interesting. Okay, so right click. Okay. looks like our collision's working, it appears. That's So we'll have to polish up the animations. I don't think that's what we'll end up with in the base game by any means, because I feel like if I look at something and I about that far and I swing, that I would hit it. That just due to the animation. So if I get close enough, you know, obviously I'll hit it, but green, by the way, green indicates an overlap, a collision event. So it tells me. Okay. So I'll right click. Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got those working.
I create music for content creators.
Okay, so I've got some different montages there. I think that's good enough for now. I want to detect hit actors. So I'm going to go ahead and test this with another person here. Or another character player. See what kind of behavior we have. Okay. Do this. Okay. Okay. It's my primary attack. I wonder what this. Kind of looking on both screens here to see if things are kind of matching reality a little bit. And it is a rather short sword. Technically, it's a dagger. Yeah, there's nothing I'm too disappointed with here. I think the line traces are doing a fine job. Maybe some tweaking I want to do with my first person versus third person. Because really, in my first person view, I'm zoomed in just a little bit. So my line traces are going off of my third person character mesh attack. And so if you pay really close attention, it's kind of hard to see in first person, but according to the first person view, my line traces really should be going out just a little bit further. And so there's maybe a little bit more of a balance that I want there. Because obviously I think you don't want those to be too very different, because you could see a case where the third person character would, if you went off the first person mesh, you could see someone swing, not make contact, and still get a hit in. But you can make that same argument for first person. But I think it's harder to catch in first person, which is why you should lean towards the third, everything being driven by the third person mesh, for sure. But yeah, I'm happy with the line traces. So I want to do some detection other than just that green hit trace. I want to see what bones I'm hitting, those sorts of things. So there's a little bit of setup you can do for that. I have a little bit of a how-to guide that I'm going to try to follow here. So I'm going to jump into my character mesh. I also have line traces here. This actually isn't going to be on event begin play. This is going to be an event triggered by a hit event, which happens when those line traces turn green, really. So I'll go ahead and do a new event down here into the line traces, and it is driven from the AGR system. I believe it's on, let's see, on attack. Okay, I'm not seeing it here. Let me read up on this just real quick. Okay, yeah, so I need to go over here to this component called AGR Combat Manager. It's a component I've added to my character mesh, or sorry, my character blueprint, master blueprint. So what I can do with this component is add event, and there's an event called on attack hit event is what it's called. On attack hit event. Let me see what else we have here. On start attack, so we can trigger an event on start attack, on end attack, on component activated and deactivated. Not really sure why you would ever use these, but it's good to know they're there. So on hit, went way over here. I want this to be up next to my line trace. So it looks like we have a couple of returns from this on hit event. We have some hit data and we have the mesh that we are hitting. Now, one thing I know about hits from some other combat games I've messed with is that you can break these out and get a whole bunch of data based on this hit event. It's called break hit result. Click down arrow. So there is a ton of data we can get from this hit event, and we'll use that to our advantage. Right now, I'm just going to use it to print some data just to see what we're bringing back from that hit event. So I will end up having a print text at the end of this thing. There's a print string and a print text. Text lets you do a little bit of formatting. So I'll put a format text here. I'm following an example I have over here. Just so I'm not trying to... Guys, making video games, you're not going to remember everything. So there's no shame in stealing shamelessly as long as you're allowed to. Be careful with that. If you buy it off the marketplace or get it off the marketplace, most of that is kind of royalty free, use it in your games kind of stuff. So steal shamelessly, use references, you can't remember it all. So that's my rant. So I definitely want my bone name. We'll do that. Actually, I want... Let me add a pin here. Actually, I don't think I want the bone name. I think I just want the hit bone name. Okay. Get some other things in here. I wonder... Is it gonna let me add some pins? Let's see. I'll take the hit actor. No, I don't mess with format text very often. My example over here has multiple pins. Don't break it. So location says place a new node. Oh, I think I see the problem here. So we have I think you have to type it in this format, pad the pin. Yeah. So hit bone name, I want that. Oh, nice. Okay. We'll do GR hit actor. So actor is going to be my hit actor. What else do I want? Yeah, let's put all of this on here. I'll just take a moment here. It's not gonna let me do a conversion. There we go. So I might have a lot of crisscrosses here. Wish this wasn't so messy. Get through this. Go back to bed, Matthew. Okay. Levy. Alright, go get in bed. Go get in bed, son. Close my door, please. Oh, kids. Okay. Okay, we'll convert this to this vector to a text. We'll print that text and see what that looks like. One thing we want to do we want to add unique values to this array. So I'm going to pull hit actor into here. AGR combat manager, I'm going to pull reference to that. And there's ignored actors. So any ignored actors is what we'll use here. Okay. Alright, let's see what kind of data we get back from that. It's a little messy. Comes out. I don't care about these. I do care about the bone. Whoa, what just happened there? He bounced. That's unintended. Hey, ooh, did it again. It's not returning any bones. It is picking up on. So, yeah, let's see if I get anything from hitting a wall. Yeah, I do pick up the static mesh actors there. And picking up on character that I'm hitting. Yeah, it's not picking up bones, so I'll have to dig into that later. Figure out why that is. Okay, but my on attacks are working, so theoretically I have a semi-working system for combat. Looks like it's replicating properly. And guys, one thing I didn't cover that I want to talk about just really quick on blueprints. So for combo graph to work, everything is ran off of the third person mesh, so it doesn't inherently push down to other skeletal meshes. So what I had to do in my anim blueprints, I have a third person and a first person anim blueprint. For my first person anim blueprint, currently I have no unique animations playing with it. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the third person mesh, and there's this really nifty function that is retarget pros from mesh. So essentially, everything that my third person mesh does animation wise, I'm essentially copying it over and playing it in real time to my first person meshes, because my first person meshes are assigned this anim blueprint first person master. So yeah, so that's actually a really nice feature. So I can use the combo graph and everything and still keep my first person meshes. Really nice little feature. Let's see what else I wanted to work on. So I guess I could work on those animations just a little bit. So let's see what my primary attack looks like here. Looks fine from an observer's perspective. Let's see what other animations I have to work with. Greystone retargeted animations. So I'll filter this list down to attack. Okay. Yeah, not crazy about that one. It's more of a stab. There's an attack D. What's that doing? Ooh, that was really fast.
Chill by Sakura HZ.
Okay. So, attack D fast. Maybe what I'm looking for, really, or at least as close as I can get with the current animations. Let's take a look a little bit closer at this. Really quick animation. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and fix this animation, I think. So it's a good idea anytime you're working in an animation to go ahead and duplicate. So this is retargeted. And I'll also say fixed, just so I know it's retargeted and I've edited it. I'll keep the original in case I mess this up. So I'll work out of this one. So I'm going to start on frame 0. And it looks like my right arm is great, but you can see here I'm having some issues with the shield. That's not a problem. So that's going to be an issue with my left arm. It looks like... It almost looks like I'm attacking with the shield a little bit, which is pretty cool. Looks okay up front, but here in the beginning... Okay, buddy, quit coming in here, please. I'm live streaming. Go talk to Mama. Close the door, please. Let me lock the door real quick.
I'm Just Good by Joni Grimes.
Okay. So look at my lips. What do I need to adjust here? I think I could just adjust my left hand a little bit. May fix this issue. Or could just adjust. I could just adjust the shield socket, I believe. So I do have a shield socket. I'll try that first and see if this is going to be adequate. I already have it on rotation. Okay, let's do this.
I don't need you to say anything by Legang.
Make sure I'm not going through. Yeah, it's close. Just clipping just a little bit. Let me turn rotation snapping off. I'll rotate this just a hair. And this just affects this animation, keep that in mind. perfect, but I think I'm okay with that. So what I'm going to do, I have this socket selected.
Funky Souls by Amaria.
I'm going to hit key. You have to select a bone. Well, let's see what that looks like. Okay.
Polaroid by Extends.
Yeah. So I may have to key this twice. So I keyed it once, but it looks like his hand gets in the correct position later on in the animation, and it's clipping here through his arm. So about really it looks fine, just except for the beginning. So I'll see when it starts going through his arm real bad. It's almost immediately. So here, I will change the shield socket back, and I will key off of this. So,
Fantasy by Declan DP.
and it'll smooth between those keys, the bone positions and socket positions. Really nice feature. So just a quick edit, and I think this animation's where we need to be. So I'm happy with that. Save. And what I want to do is create a new montage for D. I'm going to go ahead and steal this name, but I'll do a... might be better if I duplicate, actually. I think. And then I'll just change what I need, because I think that comes with some things I'll want. Okay.
With You by Declan DP.
So let's open up the montage. And what I'll do, instead of this attack, so this green bar here is the animation sequence. And that's what we just edited, was the animation sequence. So I'm going to delete this animation sequence out and pull in, I'm going to type in fixed, only one.
Good Morning by Amin Maxwell.
I'm going to drop that in. And it has the animation dropped into this montage that we just worked on. So you can look up the definition of Unreal Engine montage, but really the definition for me is you can input an animation sequence and add a whole bunch of notifies to it, which is great. It allows you to use it in your programming, and it's really nice. There's your scientific explanation. Okay. So what I want, I don't know what to do with this stuff because I'm not really using it. I'll go ahead and delete these for now. I think I'll leave in my, I don't need both of these tracks. So I begin attacking right about there. I end my attack about there, so this is a pretty quick one. Okay. Alright, save. What I'll do is go to my combat graph here. And on my entry, I'm going to do a montage. And I will put our newly created montage in here. Attack primary D. Nice quick. And this one, I'll convert that to a secondary attack. So I have 3 combos now, my secondary attack and 1 primary. Because they're all slow. Ooh, ooh.
Spiral by KV.
That is fast. Yeah. Okay.
Coming home
My
by
FPS is
David
down to
Lewis.
20, so I'm concerned about that, but I do have it 2 instances of the game running. That could have something to do with it. Okay. Still not hitting bones. Well, actually, I see a hand L there. But I'm concerned that I'm not hitting more. But we can work on that. Okay, it's just some
First Class by Payrouse.
still can't really see what's going on. Wonder if I could pull my head socket back just a little bit more. So let me.
Through My Eyes, instrumental by Mike Leet.
Okay.
Mexicana en Lele by La Gang.
I may have named this camera socket. I did. Ooh, good thing checked for that.
Let You Go, instrumental by Spectrum.
Camera socket. Go.
City Life by Artificial Music.
Go back just a little bit. And maybe down.
Mary Bay by Ghost Drifter. Mrs. Cesara by Lockspeeds.
Maybe down just a little bit more.
Sunset Tree by Amin Maxwell.
And I may go down a little bit more and pull my first person arms out just a little bit maybe.
Johnny Grimes. We Are Here by Declan DP.
It's a little weird looking. Yeah. I need to go forward just a hair. That's a little better. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I've adjusted the camera in relation to the head socket, and my arms are going to follow. They're basically attached to this camera, and this camera placement's almost irrelevant. because it's going to be attached in the code to his head. So I could put that pretty much wherever, but I'll leave it there as a little bit of a reference. So I think, let's see what happens when I go forward, and I'll be a little scientific about this. I'll put this at negative. Ooh, that's not what I meant to do. That was like a -6, I think. So this, I'll put it. We'll do 5 for now, just to see what we're working with. Oof, yeah, it's probably a little bit too far. For sure. Okay. A little weird looking. We'll go 2.5. Can see the shoulder pad. Probably don't want to be able to see the shoulder pad. Not quite loving it. It's gonna need some more tweaks. Well, do I need to shift it left or right? I don't need to shift it any more right, so that stupid shoulder pad. I'll see what 2 gets me. I might want to end up removing that dumb shoulder pad from my arms. I potentially will. See if I can get away with 1. I can still see it. I kind of want to be able to see my arms, so daggone. I don't remember it. What was it at before? I guess it was a negative number. I'm gonna do the very minimum it takes to get rid of that shoulder pad. Honestly, yeah, it kind of looks weird with the shoulder pad, I think. Yeah. Do negative 4.5. Well, so you can tell where the difference is. My first person mesh, we're touching hands, but if you look over on the right screen, about 6 inches away or so. See, now we're touching And that's another thing, my aim offset isn't working, meaning when I look up and down, I'm not looking up and down in third person view. And I have an aim offset ready for that, but I don't know how I'm going to blend it with that runtime retargeter. So I'll have to play around with that. I don't want to do that on the live stream. But, okay. Okay, well, just wanted to show you guys a combo graph and get some of this stuff looking a little bit better and working. So I think I'm going to end this here.